Flavio.
Hello to you. I'm very pleased that she's here because we're going on this course that we were going on, we would be closed.
I'm Tabatha, and I'm taking over. I have closed this school for a week, and in that week, everything is going to change because I'm in charge. Why are you smiling?
Because it's finally going to change. I'm so happy Tabatha is here because I want to be successful. I want to be a hairstylist, and I'm actually thinking there's going to be some changes going on.
So where are my staff? Come up here.
I'm
You can
not
stay over
scared.
here. You're not scared?
No, ma'am.
Now, I would like to actually bring in some clients that I sent in today. You came in and you were very blonde.
Very blonde.
And what did you want to be?
I wanted like a brown red, and then it came out and it was like blackish.
Who toned you this color?
The teacher.
The teacher. And that would be you, Mr. P.
She said she didn't want orange, so let's get it straight.
I have it straight, thank you very much.
I've been doing color over 37 years. I'm not gonna argue with you.
You are actually arguing with me, you're standing here arguing with me.
When I felt it was
don't argue
improper
with her.
application, then yes.
Excuse me, because your boss is actually speaking
Not a
to you.
problem.
She's in charge. Let her speak.
I'm not
Don't-
saying she's not
don't-
responsible, but I don't want her
dispute
to,
what she says.
I have never seen a hairdresser with that much experience up someone's hair the way Mr. P did. I really question if Mr. P should be teaching.
I agree. I mean, it's one thing to make a mistake, a one-off mistake or something, but then to double down on it and be like, nope, this is what it is. I gave her what she wanted. She wanted red brown. She probably wanted like a level 7 or something, because she came in at like at least a level 9, probably wanted to be toned down to maybe a 7, 6 at the most, and he put what looked like a level 4 on her, and they said that, oh, it looked green. He didn't fill it, right? He didn't add that gold back. He did nothing of the sort. So I'm not surprised that the poor girl's hair is messed up.
At the end of the day for me, this is what I care about, is these students getting an education. Okay? So, Tiana, I need you to give me a tour of this place.
Okay. This is where we keep supplies, colors.
Oh my god.
This is a mess. It's disgusting. And look how dried out this gel is. This is the shampoo area. These sinks are filthy.
It's bad.
It's disgusting. And this is nice. Yeah? Miss Kathy's room. Miss Kathy's already looking at me nervous.
I know it's dirty and I've given up. They poke trash in the dryer holes, and I've cleaned them out myself 100 times, and I'm through cleaning them out.
I mean,
I can't get them to clean
ridiculous
it.
amounts of trash.
I have cleaned them out and scolded them and told them not to do it anymore. It's nasty.
How long, honestly, has it been since you really walked around and had a look at the state of things
months,
and how
probably.
dirty it was? A couple of months.
Oh my gosh. Okay. The state of this place is atrocious. But the bones of a good hair school are there. Like, they have space for people. It's just unfortunate because there's this whole air of apathy. Like, nobody gives a fuck. Right? So if the leaders of the place don't give a fuck, why should the students? Why should, you know, like, it has to come from the leadership. It has to go from top down. If they don't give a fuck, why should anyone else?
Dr. Flavio has had a long and illustrious career, so he obviously knows what he's doing. So I wanted to sit down and get his point of view.
I opened my first beauty salon in 1951, and I was, I was very young. I was born in, when the heck was I born? 27, so I was 24 years old.
That's amazing. So there's a lot of history with you.
My father was a barber hairdresser, and then he came here in 1915, and then my mother was a hairdresser.
Clearly hairdressing is in your blood and you still really
I
love
really
it. Is
enjoy
it
it.
in
I was-
Tiana's
oh,
blood?
Not really, no.
Oh, that breaks my heart. Okay, so the way that he talks about hair and how long he's been in hair is, yeah, that's a family legacy for sure. And then when Tabatha asked about Tiana, the daughter, like, and he's trying to be kind about it, right? And he's just like, no, not really. It's in her blood. But you can definitely tell Tiana is extremely burnt out, and she's only doing this to appease her father. Because, I mean, he's a delightful man, but I really think that Tiana is not the right person for this job, unfortunately.
Dr. Flavio has a lot to lose if this school goes under. And yesterday I saw a lot of issues with the staff. So now I want to find out what they think is going on. Flavio's beauty school has been around for a very long time.
Yes. Yeah, we're on third generation students.
So that is a legacy.
Yes, it is.
Correct? Tell me, Miss, so how long have you been at the school?
Since 1970.
That is a long time.
Yes, it is.
And Mr. P, how long have you worked at Flavio's?
Probably 33 years, you know. I have nothing but a lot of love and respect for Mr. Flavio.
I hold him in great esteem because everything I am, he allowed me to be.
They gave me a job when I really needed something to just throw my whole life into.
How long since you've all had education actually in the school for the instructors?
15 years.
We don't have education, and I have a problem with that.
100%. How are teachers that have been licensed and been in the game for decades at this point not able to get continuing education? Obviously, I understand that providing education is an extra expense that at this point they can't afford. But then it's almost like the blind leading the blind. And at one point, it almost feels like these students know more than the teachers do because these techniques or these color lines are a lot newer than when they were learning, than when they got their licenses all those years ago.
Everybody would benefit from more education. You can't get too much.
Not everybody knows what everybody's doing or what they should be doing.
Okay, I think this is a problem, and it's not even that the school is a large institution. It's not like they have tons and tons of students and tons of teachers, but in this example, you can very clearly see that the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing, and vice versa. There's not enough communication, and it's definitely not all on the owner's shoulders, but she needs to check in with her staff to be like, okay, if the curriculum requires all of these topics to be covered and it's your job to disperse it, somebody needs to make sure that what's in the curriculum is actually being taught. The fact that the students can clock it from across the room and say, oh, how come I don't know how to do that? And I'm a more senior student than they are. I'm only 5 months away from writing my exam. How come I've never seen that before? Right? So there's no consistency in the level of education that they're providing, and that's a shame.
I just come in, clock in, teach my kids, clock out, go home.
See, this is what I mean by apathy, right? Because she probably is in her mind like, I don't get paid enough to really care. I'm just here to do my job and go home. It's like, that's all well and good, but when you're in an industry that is supposed to attract top talent and supposed to almost shape the future of this trade, you don't want teachers like this. And she seems like a sweet, lovely lady and everything like that, but you don't want teachers that are this apathetic. And I completely understand where this apathy comes from, but this is almost like a business killing itself from the inside. Call is coming from inside the house, basically. Like, this is not good.
What are your biggest challenges with your students?
They're out here being little jerks.
They're just pushing your buttons because they can. You know, all of a sudden, we're the worst teachers in the world. You know, you can take them to the water, but do they want to drink?
Okay, this is a double-edged sword because there are students who will push your buttons. They will be disrespectful. And I think it's partly because of the way that the school is set up. They don't have a reason to turn people away. When people apply to hair school, ideally, in my mind, I'm thinking it should be a selective process. They shouldn't just let anybody in because not everybody has the drive. Not everybody has the passion. The amount of times I've seen people sitting in their chair, literally doing their own hair, doing their own nails, or sleeping while they're in hair school is wild to me. And I'm like, you've paid a lot of money to be here and you don't want to do anything. Like, I get it. Maybe you feel that these teachers aren't teaching you anything, but what are you doing with your time? If I was completely disinterested in what was being taught that day and nobody's checking me for it, as a student, instead of going off to the mall for hours, I have to be there for the whole day to get my hours anyways. Best believe I'm taking my mannequin head out and I'm playing, right? I don't even care. Like, I'll watch a YouTube video, I'll watch an Instagram, anything, and try to replicate it. That's the only thing that got me through hair school, was putting my headphones in and just playing. So the fact that these students want to disrespect these teachers, like, it goes both ways, right? Because if you step to a teacher with all that energy, if you come in hot and you're like, man, I'm not going to learn anything from you, you're a shit teacher, what do you think that teacher is going to respond with? Right? Most likely, they're not going to teach you anything. It's like, well, you're a little shithead. You're getting nothing from me. You want to talk back to me. You want to give me attitude. Fuck you. You're not getting anything from me.
But how many of you think that you really are inspiring your students? If that mentality doesn't change, the doors will close. So I really do need to work with you to find out what the future is of this school.
She's 100% correct. If the teachers and the leaders can't inspire the students, then nobody's going to stay, right? Very few people are actually going to make it to graduation.
I do have some models to come in for you all, and they're very, very special models. And I want you to take very good care of them and look after them.
It's going to be the girls from before.
Oh, yeah.
Hi.
There are babies.
Oh, okay.
And you guys are glutton for punishment.
I want you to use your students as models, but also talk them through the techniques that you're using. So it's a learning process for them, and I get to see the work.
Bring it on.
Bring it on. Okay, Mr. P, let's hear your consultation.
It looks like it's a nice straight type of a hairdo, so you should be fine.
You look horrified, Jen.
Well, I wasn't asked if I wanted it to work with the color, which I do. And I'd like to get it more of this deep burgundy.
Not really that complicated to do.
I have to interrupt because here is the thing. You should be showing the best consultation that you can do, because she needs to know how to do a great consultation. And where is she going to learn that? Hopefully from her instructor.
Okay. Tabatha's been a bitch with me since day one. She's worked every bit of my nerves, but at the end of the day, she's not going to demeanor me. I'm confident in myself. Bring it on.
I'm sure a lot of it is reality TV editing. They had to condense it, but there was no consultation. So from what I understand, that student wants that Katie Holmes haircut. He didn't ask her any questions. He just looked at the picture, looked at the student, is like, okay, I got it. That's not a consultation. A consultation, even for a haircut, even for a blow dry, it needs to be a little bit more involved than that, right? But then the student mentioned that she wanted a deep burgundy color. Okay, bring out the swatch book. Like, you gotta go back and forth. It's a collaborative process. And in this case, it's students. So you're supposed to explain what it is you're doing. Like, if that was me, I'd be like, okay, we're going to go for... I didn't see the Katie Holmes picture, so forgive me, I don't really remember it. But just looking at that student's hair, it was a shorter woman's haircut. So I would say, okay, we're going to section off the hair. Everything under the parietal ridge is going to be around graduation. Everything on top could be triangular layers, and we're going to add a lot of texture and movement, because just off of your vibe, I feel like you're very funky. Do you use any hair products? Maybe you have any kind of clay, molding gel, anything. And what kind of burgundy are you looking for? Are there other pictures that you want to show me? Like, things like that. It's so easy. Like, I'm just looking at it and I'm like, it comes so naturally to me because I'm such a people pleaser. But the fact that Mr. P is so resistant and honestly comes across very petty, right? Because he's just like, I don't want to give Tabatha the satisfaction. And I'm like, bro, this is your career. This is your student. This is impacting the way that people view you.
What do you want to see when you look in the mirror, color-wise?
That red on her dress.
Like her dress?
That red. Like that really pop, bright red.
Okay.
It's short, but I guess it's not short enough to where it was supposed to fan.
Who chopped it up?
Mr. P.
You ran through a lawnmower or something? What happened?
It's very, very, very short already.
You know what you need to learn to do for me?
What?
Take a walk on the wild side. I want you to break out of the mold.
To break out of the mold a little bit today.
Dr. Flavia, what do you think of Miss Kathy's consultation?
The color has to be kind of evened out. She likes the dark red, which is a good color for you.
So are you concerned that the natural growth is so much lighter than the mid-shaft and ends?
You may have a little slight
Are you saying that my roots are going to be on fire and the rest of my hair is going to be kind of dull?
It's light. It's a good, I'd call it an 8.
This right here is not a level 8.
It is a level 8.
I would say it's about a level 5.
It is not a level 5. Go and get me a color chart right now. Stop. Go and get me a color chart.
Oh my goodness. So he claims that the color on her roots is a level 5 when it's a level 8. Like, that's blonde. Like, her roots are blonde. She has hot roots. You can see that from across the room.
As a colorist,
okay, I understand what you're saying. I'm a colorist too.
Right.
I've been doing color for about 38 years.
Okay, that's great.
Okay.
The question is whether you've done it well or not.
Okay, here you go.
So, this is a level 8, and you can see that's the level it's lifted to.
She's about right in here.
Which is still a level 8.
Let's look at it when it's finished.
That's crazy. That's wild. Okay, so he points at the swatch and he's like, it's this one. Still level 8. And that look of panic on that girl's face.
All hair is made up of 3 pigments. What are they?
Oh, I don't know.
Red, blue, yellow. They're your primary colors.
Yes.
Okay? So every hair is made up of primary. Okay? Tiana runs away from me. As soon as I talk about science, she's gone. Dr. Flavio was observing and offering advice all day, while Tiana was hiding in the office. It's as though Tiana doesn't appreciate her father's legacy at all.
Okay, I'm not going to play armchair psychologist or anything, but I think she's uncomfortable when they start discussing the science and the technicalities, like all the nuance, all the like minute details of doing hair. Not that the primary colors are minute, like if you're a hairdresser, that's very basic information, but to someone who does not do hair and very clearly does not want to do hair, does not want to learn how to do hair, it's going to sound like another language, right? And I think she probably feels extremely intimidated because, well, Tabatha has a very intimidating presence about her because of this larger than life kind of personality, but also it always is kind of scary and it sounds daunting when you're in a room full of people, and maybe it intimidates her that these students that are much younger than her know more about hair than she does, and even though she's been in a hairdressing family her whole life, right? So maybe it's that feeling of intimidation or inadequacy. You know, it could be anything, but I sense a ton of discomfort. Like, yeah, Tiana does not even want to be there. Whereas her dad, who honestly, like, he should be relaxing, but he's walking around and it seems like he's actually advising people. And it's because he loves hair. And it's a very apparent difference between father and daughter.
I think the colour is off to a good start because it is nice and neat. Do you like it?
Yes, I do.
And did you learn something today from your experience?
Now I know how to approach my clients when they're in my chair.
Good. I'm glad Miss Kathy taught you something.
Aww. Oh my gosh, she looks so much better. I love it. Even just the way that it's styled, like, I don't think the haircut changed that drastically, but having it colored that way looks so much more intentional. It doesn't look like a DIY gone wrong. It looks like, okay, this at least is professionally done. She wanted her hair to look like this. Aww.
Why are you shaking your head at me, Jen? Tell me what's going on.
I hate it. I don't think it's the right color for me at all.
You chose it.
Look at this.
Wow. Okay. So she immediately is like, I don't like it. And he's without even really looking at her, you chose it though. You never want to approach a client that way. Even if, right, and I say if, because this doesn't apply here, but even if he gave her exactly what she wanted and she's not happy with the way that it looks on her, you as the service provider then have to problem solve and figure out, how can I make her happy? How can I adjust the color so that she's at least happy with it? That she can leave my chair, that I feel good about sending her off with it. Like, wow, that lack of customer service. And like, okay, maybe he's been a teacher for whatever 38 years, he said, so he has no empathy, but this poor girl is crying. Like, he doesn't care because he has no hair, but this poor girl has to wear it.
Those bands were in there before I started.
Why didn't you fix them?
Okay.
Those bands were in there before I started. You saw the bands at the shampoo bowl and you didn't formulate to take that into account. That is why she has hot roots.
She had 5 or 6 colors. You've seen those colors that was in that hair, okay?
Why are you crying?
I don't like it.
I mean, you know, Jenny's hair was tore from the floor up. Had 4 or 5 different colors.
She was tore up from the floor up, had tons of colors and tons of bands of color. Okay, and it's your job to improve it. Even if you can't fix it to perfection, this is why you need to have a consultation. If I had a client that had honestly really jacked up hair, I wouldn't tell them they have really jacked up hair because usually they know and they're self-conscious about it. But you tell them, hey, I noticed that there's a bunch of different colors going on. Can you tell me about that? Tell me about your hair history. What has happened? Okay, take a strand test if you have to so that you don't fuck up someone's hair entirely.
In it. Okay, I'm not God and the magic shop is not across the street.
I don't need you to prove that you're right.
Okay.
What I need you to do is listen to your student and your client.
I'm listening, but I'm not going to let her intimidate me just because she wants to intimidate me.
Does this young lady intimidate you, Dr. Flavio?
I don't think she could.
I'm not saying she's not Mr. Flavio. I mean...
Please don't argue with me, please. I don't have time for it. I'm too old to argue back.
Oh, this poor girl looks so sad. Oh, no. And she has such a cool, like, alternative style to her. I feel like I could have done so much. Like, I would have had so much fun with her. Oh, this poor girl. And in this lighting, it's really hard to see a difference color-wise. The only thing I do notice, though, is this root area here looks more red, and her ends don't look that different compared to that. But yeah, the red only took to the roots, but it might just be the lighting that they filmed this portion in.
Honestly, I see a staff that isn't inspired anymore. You're as tired as the decor in here. So tomorrow, we're going to start to turn this thing around.
Okay.
All right? Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
And you and I are going to sit down and talk.
Okay.
Okay, just look at that body language with Tiana, because she looked so uncomfortable.
Tired as the decor in here. So tomorrow, we're going to start to turn this thing around.
Okay.
All right? Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
And you and I are going to sit down
Okay, you see that right there?
and talk.
Right there, as she turned away, as they were saying bye to all those other staff members, Tiana was about to leave. She was like, all right, bye, see ya. oh, fuck, you actually need me. Okay, fuck. It's the same kind of energy as, like, getting called into the principal's office. You're like, ugh, fuck, I'm in trouble. Why? Okay, what do you want to talk about? It's that kind of energy that I'm getting from her.